Thank you for staying tuned. This is still the Press on KAFTAN Television, and we are reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. Right now, I've been joined by a guest in the studio to discuss some of the headlines that made it to our national dailies. And joining me this morning in the studio is our own Honorable Richard Oriri, who is a public affairs analyst. And also a gentle reminder that our phone lines are now open for you to call in to give in your contribution or ask a question. You're highly welcome, Richard Oriri.
Good morning.
Good morning. How did you maneuver this weather this morning? Because this rain started as early as 1 a.m. in the morning till daybreak.
It's a welcome development. The weather has been so hot, but this morning everything went well.
So you're one of those.
I enjoyed the weather, and I'm still enjoying it.
Great, right? Okay, let's quickly dive into the matters of the day. This minimum wage has lingered so long than we expected. The labor is saying the labor has gone from 500 and something thousand down to 40 something down and down to 250,000 naira. And in the course of the negotiation, federal government has said, look, labor, what we can pay is 62,000 naira. And what baffles me is the way they kept on pricing this thing as if it's Maggi and pepper and the rest of it. The last time it was 60,000 naira while labor walked away. And calling labor back, it was just additional 2,000 naira. They say what they can pay is 62,000 naira. Quickly bring us up to speed on what your thoughts in all of these are.
Thank you. Good morning, Nigerians. The issue between labor union and Nigerian government, I think it has lingered for so long, and almost everybody, we are getting tired of the whole situation.
We are.
But in any case, since they are stretching themselves to see how they will find a lasting solution to the whole issue, I think that is the best way. But to me, labor shouldn't just be focusing on wages. There are too many issues bothering Nigerian workers. And if you look at, we just celebrated 25 years democracy on the 12th of June. And if you look at the entire world today, the major challenges we are having, the division in the world is between the global north and the global south. And we, Nigeria, for the fact that we are from Africa, we belong to the global south. And the global south, they are referred to as the developing and underdeveloped countries of the world. And if you critically look at the Goal 8 of SDG, Sustainable Development Goal number 8, it talks about decent work and economic growth. And decent work, if you want to talk about the decent work, labor should focus more on how the work environment looks decent, looks favorable to workers.
Not just labor is not being fair.
They are focusing more on the take-home pay, which is not the right thing. And going to our labor department now in Nigeria, like it's a civil service, private sector, you will see there's so much that is going on. There's so many people, they cannot even voice their problem out. Some people will work over labor. There's no additional payment. It kind of, in some companies, they call it overtime. And if you go to universities, they overstretch some lecturers, overburden them with too much courses. There's no additional pay, and women are not given even free there's no equality between women and men in our labor department in Nigeria majorly. And in some areas, again, this, like especially civil service, if you go to other advanced countries of the world, they created an avenue where even if you have a baby, that will not stop you from going to work. But in Nigeria, a place like Nigeria now, if you put to bed, you can't manage going to work with your baby. But in other advanced countries of the world, there's a department created by government where if you go to work, you will take your baby there, and government will take care of those the children. while you are comfortably doing your work. But here, they are being deprived of such arrangement. And in such a situation, many women, they have been pushed out of decent job because of that singular problem, because they value their kids more than the job. Instead of taking the job, and if you take the job, it will stress you when you put to bed. The best thing you do is to stay away from such job that will stress you. So those are the areas labor, to me, should even put more of their interest. Like this, they call it, some call it target living wage. So target different names. But just like federal government is saying, we are all human, and there is no common elementary economists should tell you that the higher the price of anything, the higher the demand of anything, yes, the price will definitely go up. Yes. And if you increase labor wage so much, not that as the federal government is stretching that we can't pay this, we can't pay, not that they don't have money to pay, okay, but if you just jack it up like that, now that the standard wage, this thing is 30,000 naira, you see the level of inflation already. And if the price, if the salary of workers should gallop immediately so high like that, the inflation galloping in Nigeria will be so high that we cannot be able to manage it. We can't manage it. So I think the minimum and the best way to go is to look at both sides. Labor have to come to terms with federal government. Federal government have to look at some areas, the gray areas where labor is pushing to, so that all of them will meet at a point that it will not be so hot, so bad to labor, and it will not be so bad to federal government and to the government as a whole generally. You understand? So the salary increase shouldn't go to a level that we throw Nigeria into another terrible problem.
Talking about throwing Nigeria into another dimension of problem, this headline here says 774 councils can't afford to pay 62,000 wage. This is coming from the chairman. But when we come to our federal lawmakers, it has been alleged that they are the highest paid lawmakers in the globe. But if they're saying that they cannot pay 62,000, like some states or federal government is proposing 62,000 naira. If they're going to pay 62,000 naira, how do you expect an average man who is a civil servant to manage with the kind of economic crisis we are in? We talk about transportation, we talk about food. As at 2 days ago when I went to the market, a mudu of beans was at almost 3,000 naira. Now you talk about electricity. You and I know that electricity has gone from 66 naira that it used to be to 200 and something naira. How do you think? Do you think this is manageable? This proposed 62,000 naira.
My sister, what is there is that there is no how salary of anybody can be enough to solving your entire problem. Anybody that is a worker and you are depending on your salary, I don't think you are serious. Even these politicians we do talk about every day, they don't rely so much on their salary. Even some of these civil servants, majority of them, except the lower class, they don't rely on their salary. Some don't even know when their alert comes because they have other means of survival. And that is why, like in Benue State, there was a time that the governor said they gave out Tuesday and Thursdays or Tuesday and Fridays for workers to go to their farms. They can declare, let's say, 1 day out of the 5 days in a week, or 2 days out of. Then people go to farm.
Good morning.
And do other things to survive.
Good morning to you, my sister. You are on to SMB from Kano.
Oh.
Mr. Richard, good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother. How is Kano this morning?
Well, we are doing pretty well, sir.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my dear sister. I really concur with Richard. Living wage or minimum wage, whatever name they give it, is a good thing to look into because There is no how you will pay peanuts as salary and then you will not get monkeys as workers. You understand? So definitely the federal government needs to look into this. And to me, it means the committee, the tripartite committee, has not done enough to the extent that if this issue will lead to this extent. Remember, Mr. President made mention that we want to have something that can be affordable, sustainable, and realistic. That is what he said. And whatever this committee presented to me, I'm going to work on it. So if somebody will give you this opportunity, and at the end of the day you end up adding 2,000 naira, it means you guys are not serious there. Honestly speaking, they are not serious. They should look the future of this nation, not their own selfish interest.
All right.
Now, what Mr. Richard mentioned, also, the government, the label should look, let's say, living after work or surviving after work. Imagine somebody will spend 35 years of work, and then at the end of the day, all his benefits, his mind is to buy home. Okay, if you buy a house, how will you survive? How will you survive? You just gather all the benefits and then go and buy a house without having any training in mind, whether to go into business or to go into any assistant work and something of that nature. So we should look into this working areas and then make something meaningful to the workers, at least so that they should survive after work. Imagine somebody will work for at least 35 years, and at the end of the day, you see him just like a beggar. Imagine. Because all the benefits, you go and just buy a house for him to survive. Okay, are you going to eat your house? The answer is no. So we should look for a better way of living for them, at least not only minimum wage. Thank you very much. And many from Pano, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. He has spoken so well.
Okay.
So he spoke like a true nationalist. Because as it is now, in the entire Asian country today, we look up to two major countries that are doing very well and challenging the West in terms of economy, in terms of military capability. That is China and India. The citizens of these two nations, they don't rely so much on salary.
Good morning. Welcome to the press. And where are you calling us from?
I'm calling up from Kaduna.
All right.
Yeah.
Please go
ahead. The issue of
minimum wage is not the problem Nigeria is facing today now. What Nigeria is facing today, the federal government at least should look into it very well. And when I was in young then, we learned about the NDE program that the government had initiated to the people then. Because I have one of my brother then that is doing NDE after his service in the school. When he don't get a job, the government gave them a loan. They gave them a farmland to cultivate. That's around on those states then, that they were doing well then. But what the government should be able to emphasize on that, how can they be able to get back the NDE to return it back to the standard? And secondly, the issue of minimum wage, before the federal government should do that, they should ban the use of dollar in Nigeria. Once they ban the use of dollar in Nigeria, everything will come back to normal. That's the only two major things. But the issue of a minimum wage, that's not the problem Nigeria is facing now. What Nigeria is facing now, the program of NDE and the banding of dollar. All those politicians that all of them are holding dollars. Once they ban the dollars, everybody will leave the dollar and everything will come back to normal.
Okay.
So that's my suggestion.
All right. Thank you for calling and do have a great day.
His contribution is also nice.
Okay.
Just like as I was saying, in the whole Asian country today, they belong to the global south as well, which the West tag as developing and underdeveloped countries. That is China and India. They are growing so fast that even America is threatened now by the growth of China. And how are they surviving? They survive through peasantry. They survive through technical work. Even majority of their citizens, they are bricklayers, vulcanizers. And China and India. India today is the most populous country in the world. 1.429 billion population. And China is 1.426 billion. India is above China today.
Good morning or welcome to the press, and where are you calling?
And they are utilizing their population.
Yes, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Emelite, and I'm calling from Emelite.
All right, please go ahead.
I am enjoying the program. What your guest said here is true. I want to advise, at least advise the workers. Workers, they should not depend on their salary. They should be going to farm. As our past governor in Benin State, every Thursday, he allows workers to go to their farms from Friday till Saturday. So I want to add, I'm seeing, putting my addition, I'm adding it to you. Encourage workers, let them not depend on their salary. They should find another thing doing, or as your guest said here. Thank you. The program is good. Keep it on.
Thank you so much for calling, and do have a great day.
Thank you. So as I was saying, China and India, they are utilizing their population explosion. Nigeria have almost the same level of population.
Richard Oriri, let me draw your attention to the insecurity we face.
No, that is the angle, that is the area I'm going. That's the area I'm going. What we should be talking to government is for government to provide enabling environment for citizens to survive.
Let's quickly take this caller on before. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the press. Oh, we lost that caller.
Enabling environment. Like China, their focus is bottom to the top, not from top to the bottom. As we arrange our policy here in this type angle of the world. India, bottom to the top. They value so much the rural areas, the rural communities, and that's where the vast land is.
Good morning.
So channeling our policies and programs towards the rural communities and ensure security is everywhere. It will help us a lot.
Good morning and welcome to the...
You understand? We should be talking on how government, local government, state government, and federal government will give citizens a level playing field, a conducive environment. Like in the in universities, even the colleges, they will talk about conducive learning environment. If we have conducive environment for agriculture to strive in this country, there is no how we will not compete with both China and India. And these two nations, let our researchers be doing some things and advising government on public policies in the right direction. Our researchers, I think our researchers, they are not doing enough. And every government department, let's say the presidency now, they should have a particular department for research and policy arrangement, advising the government. You do research and advise government on what to do to better the life of your citizens. Even in the House of Representatives and Senate, they should have a department for research, policy, all these bills that they take to the National Assembly for debate. It shouldn't come from outside the National Assembly. Every House of Representative member, out of the 360 members of the House of Reps members, they should, within their office, create a department for research. Then employ one of their legislative aides. They can employ a legislative aide that is not even from their constituency. Outside your constituency, a professional from either this Institute of Legislative Studies. Then employ them, put them there, pick one of them as your legislative aide. The job of the person is to be doing research and giving you bills, proposing bills for you, because you can put the person on his or her toes. Now this month, I want to present over 20 bills. And these bills, this angle, agric, energy, this water, employment, and different areas. Then they work on it, research, do strong research, and present the bills to your principal. That would be your job. You understand? But in this country now, our research is dead. Like in my school, my lecturer, the DVC of the school, is an Indian man. He asked, "Why are you here for your PhD?" I told him I am here to help my country. He said, good. I've been asking too many people. The majority of Nigerians who went to the university for their PhD, they are doing that for promotion in their office. Now, any country that will grow, PhD is meant for research and to help your country. Like if you look at India, they just concluded Indian election last Sunday.
Yes.
Majority of the contestants, they are doctorate degree holders, professors. That is from the university environment now. They have left the university environment, coming to take over political system to help their country, to help their nation. You look at some political parties, their media aides, the spokesperson of political parties, they are professors. So any nation, any country that want to grow, you make use of research institutes. Like India, now India have mandated one of their research institutes to design the kind of democracy that will suit India, and not in the way of the West. Yes, they are practicing parliamentary democracy, but it's still tailored towards the Western ideology, the Western concept. No. But that they should design a democracy that will suit India. Now, while we are having problem in food security, problem in unemployment, problem in almost every sector in Nigeria. If you go to health department, it's silent today completely. Completely. Health. Nobody is talking about China. They don't play with health. If you are not healthy, you can't even work well. Like this labor union that they are talking about, salary. What about the health, good health, quality health of your workers? If you are not healthy, how can you bring out any better output? If you go to agri department, it's so silent. The only thing that we do is palliative. To talk about is palliative. Palliative is to go and buy food and take to local community and share to people who are close to you as a politician. That is not what will solve our problem. The only thing that will solve our problem, our vast land should be utilized, either through farming or any other thing. India, even as a master degree holder in India, they can do, they get themselves involved in even a vulcanizing job. Bricklayers. You understand? And they are surviving, doing it with passion. And they are surviving. Okay. But here, all we depend on in this country is employment, government job. Outside government job, politics. 2/3 of Nigerian youth today, if you don't call them, address them as honorable. Even one that have not even been elected as a party executive member in their ward ESCO member of a party. One that have not been elected of a ward ESCO member. Everyone want to answer honorable. And everyone want to take government job. And that is why you see, if you just after graduation, you see all of us folding our hands waiting for job, stretching your representative members. And it's because the pressure to get job is too high. And that is why people are collecting money to even give job.
Let's quickly take
in other countries, they don't pay to get job.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the press. Where are you calling us from?
I want to appreciate your program. Yeah, I want to appreciate your program.
All right.
I just want to comment on what my father or my brother is saying about the youth involving in their study or trying to get job in public servants. I want to tell you that there is a problem. There's something that is happening in this country. The private sector, they're the one they're not helping. So I know the government cannot do all. But these private sectors, they're not paying. They're not paying. After you graduate, you want to work with them. They don't want to pay a real money. All the money they get from their ventures, they want to use it or they don't want to pay. So the youth, you just decide, okay, let me just join politics. Maybe one way or other, be elected or they will give me advisors to work with the government. So for anything that you bring the youth, I don't think it's not a good idea. Because, and I want to go on that issue of saying the students should have something. Yes, of course, because one source of income is very bad. It's very encouraging. But see, the time factor of living that working, you work from morning to 4 o'clock. Don't have time to go to dinner. You find someone to do that business. I don't know, spending all the money.
All right.
And I want to always say that those are the people that enjoy this country. So the people that enjoy this country, those are the ones that fund this country.
All right.
They will see this money. They will not want to invest for other to benefit. That's my take on that.
All right. Thank you very much for calling, and do have a great day.
I'm Donald from Benue State.
Thank you, Donald, for calling once again. So I was going to say something. Now, Labour has gone from the 500 and something thousand that was initially proposed down to 250,000. You know, if I get you correctly from what you were saying, you are still saying that even the 250,000 naira is not realistic.
It's
so
high.
what then is realistic? But before that, let's quickly take this caller. Good morning, and where are you calling us from? Welcome to the press.
Yeah. Good morning, my dear sister. It's SMB. SMB is back again. Mr. Richard raised something very vital, very important when it comes to research. You see, Mr. Richard, yes, I agree with you. The House of Assembly, the senators, they need to have all these research activities. But the issue now is, remember, I think somewhere in the 1999 Constitution, all members are entitled to have like 3 to 4 aides.
5 aides. 5 is 5 now.
5. Are they practicing that? That's the question. Are they practicing that? Then they have the power of oversight function. Now, who will look after their affairs? That's the question. You understand my point? The only thing electorate can do is to recall his representative back home. But the process, are we taking awareness on the electorate on the process of recalling a member back for not performing? Remember, just 3 days back, public dailies made mention about 24 senators did not make a vote for 1 year in the Senate. A vote from not to talk of a bill in the Senate. You understand my point? Now, when we are talking of research requires big money, requires some facilities. Look at a very good example of Embrapa of Brazil, was established, I think, 1973. They are doing pretty well when it comes to agriculture, and they are giving too many employment of Brazilians. How many research institutes we have in Nigeria? Are they practicing the research activities? Who is going to finance it? That's the question. How many universities we have? Don't we have professors, doctors, and so many other professionals there? So it requires financial activities there. It requires commitment. It requires so many facilities. So are we for real? That's the question. Are we for real? Like I always mention, building a nation is a collective responsibility. Whether you are a member, you are a governor, whoever you are. So when you are a Nigerian, you have to put that mind that you want to contribute to a nation building. You have to be patriotic. In fact, the curriculum of our education needs to engage with patriotism activity right from the grassroots. Thank you very much. I remain SMB from Lesakano, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
SMB, you spoke very, very well. You spoke very well.
So
you spoke very well. Just to add to what he said, research requires so much money.
Exactly.
Yes.
And can we
it requires so much
money? Do we have the fund?
Nigeria have the fund to like now. Let me give you an example. Last year, defense of every country is not just by say people are kidnapping citizens, assassinating people. That is not security. That is not insecurity. The only way that we see look at insecurity, American defense is even now we don't have security in the food angle
sector.
Yes, food sector. There's insecurity in that food in that area. So America in 2023, the highest department that have the highest chunk of their budget is defense. And in this defense, it was not channeled to military hardwares. It was channeled towards research in different fields that will make sure that they have security in all angles, security in the health sector, security, research. You understand? If you go to India, the same thing. China, research. US 2023 defense budget was the highest in the world, followed by China. India, 4th in the whole world, 4th. India. So, and not that they are using this money that they channel towards defense for military hardwares. They channel it towards research. Now, drone, before, it was America, Brazil. Then we are the highest in drone production. But if you go to Turkey now, they produce. If you go to China, China is even selling drones now to Russia. You get my point. So Nigeria, we don't value research department in this country. Go to China, the same thing. They value peasantry. They give 70-75% of their interest to peasantry. There is a local farmers, local community economy. Not this urban issue that we every time urban road this one siphoning money. Like today now, World Bank has approved yesterday. I saw on the national district. World Bank approved $2.25 something billion
dollars
to Nigeria. Where are they channeling it to? They say cash. They were talking about cash transfer. Cash transfer to who?
That point because cash not transfer. Just that the 2024 budget was 2.27.7 trillion naira or thereabout, or 27.8 trillion naira. We already borrowing another. I saw it on one of the dailings this morning that Nigerian is borrowing 500 billion naira for
cash transfer. Now we are talking.
Mr. President, on the day of the day he took in office, he said fuel subsidy is gone, and he gave reasons for the removal of the fuel subsidy. Now our question is, where is the money? The money that was supposed to where if we are still going ahead to borrow 2.25 billion US dollars to support for reforms and all that, where is the money that was supposed to be made?
They are talking about cash transfer. They are talking about cash transfer. We are supposed to. Okay, now you are borrowing money. You are borrowing money, and you are channeling it into a session that will not be productive. If it is cash transfer, you transfer this money to Nigerians. At the end of the day, they will swallow it, and you are still going to pay this money back to these people you took from. It's waste. If they are borrowing money to fund research, it will help us. If they are borrowing money to subsidize agriculture, it will help us. But there's no how World Bank will allow Nigeria to take money from World Bank and subsidize any sector in this country. And our local farmers need subsidy to survive. We have a different environment here. But this Washington consensus arrangement of World Bank will impoverish Nigeria. They can't borrow you money that will make you to survive. They'll borrow you money when they know that your money you are borrowing, you are going to waste it. And if you are wasting it, you will not have means of paying back. And you will not become their perpetual slave. That is modern imperialism. And we should be thinking inward. All this World Bank that we depend on. We have Africa. Like yesterday, there was one program that Africa Bank carried out outside one of the countries in Africa. Okay, the other day we talked with Nairobi, African Development Bank. All the leaders, they were in Nairobi. You understand? How will they? Every part of the world now, they are talking about geoeconomies, geopolitics. And that is what is making them, even the West, the European nation, that is what is making them to survive. See BRICS nation. Brazil, India, Russia, South Africa. They are coming together to see how they put money together to help themselves. Instead of tying your leg to this World Bank and IMF of 18. They are enslaving us. It's a waste. This money they have taken now, they will waste it. And at the end, the people of Nigeria will still pay through their nose. Now, they say cash transfer. The other time, they say grant, federal government grant. All the House of Representative members, we are giving 150 numbers to produce 150 persons from your constituency. And they gathered these names.
Let's hear from this caller.
How many people were paid this money?
Good morning.
Few.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is
Omotoshola Lume, you are welcome to the press. Please go ahead.
I want to ask a question. During the time of Goodluck Jonathan, the last budget of Nigeria is not up to 3 trillion naira.
Okay.
But now the present government now, their budget now is close to 28 trillion naira.
Yes.
So what are they using the money for? And during the time of Goodluck Jonathan, there's subsidy. And now they say they have removed subsidy, but initially now they have introduced the subsidy back since October last year. Are we operating the federal system of government now, or we are operating outside the system of government? And let us know.
right.
Hey.
Thank you very much for calling.
Okay.
Have a great day.
From what he said he has a very cogent question.
Richard Oriri, I have one final question because we are out of time already. My question
I would have answered what he said.
My question is, do you think the 250,000 that's the last proposal of Labour, like we know now, it's unrealistic? If you're saying it's unrealistic, don't forget that our federal lawmakers go home with exorbitant amount of money.
No.
Not
You can't.
They have
the pressure on elected officials. You cannot see civil servant. Civil servant now that you are talking about, Nigerian civil servant that you are talking about. Even if they are collecting 1 million naira, it's only their children that they are after. Even within their family circle, they don't help any other person apart from their biological children. These lawmakers, they have constituency where they come from. Even 700,000 naira that the House of Representative members are collecting is not enough. If you compare with the pressure that they are receiving from their electorate from their constituency.
Your name and where you're calling
you cannot
us
just
please.
compare. You can't even go to that level.
Good morning. Welcome to the press.
Yeah, thank you very much. My regards to my very good friend Oriri.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very fine, sir.
Although I was a little bit late and it just got light now, maybe I could not hear the full listen. But let me quickly talk about the parliamentarian system of government. You see, when you look at the parliamentarian system of government, you see, it is the actors who is very, very important. And even by the time you compare it to the presidential system of government, it is the same actors who are going to play the game. And that is why we are having problems in this country. By the time you look at what is happening in this country, you begin to think whether we have a country. Today, look at the economy. Today, you saw the quantum of protests which have ended in this June 12th. That one comes to tell you that Nigerians are not happy. And you see, Mr. Oriri, let me tell you the truth. If Bola Tinubu eventually did not reduce the price of fuel, the problem will continue. Of all the palliative, I asked a pertinent question this morning. How many people actually received the palliative? And today, the palliative have turned to be another conduit pipe, corruption. And we are talking about...
I agree with you completely.
Nigeria. And by the time we look at why the rate started beating us for 2015, let me tell you, this APC government, they don't have any policy. By the time you look at the policy of Bola Tinubu, with all his policy, it is not taking us anywhere. It is high time Bola Tinubu gets technocrats. He should look beyond Lagos and look for the people who can actually move this country forward, but not concentrating on people he has worked with in Lagos. People like Okonjo Iweala, people like Soludo, people like Ekwesili, people like Adeshina. These are the people Obasanjo use. And by the time you compare the rule of the regime of Obasanjo with what is happening now, you will see that we are 1 million steps backward in this country.
All
so
right.
the earlier he takes the economic team, the better for Nigeria.
Right.
Yes, for now, the economic team is not working. God bless our country, Nigeria.
All right.
Thank
Thank you
you
for calling, and
Thank
God
you.
bless Nigeria. Richard Oriri, you have 60 seconds to answer to my question. Are you saying the 250,000 is unrealistic?
It's unrealistic, but the Nigerian government, federal, state, and local government can pay confidently 150,000 naira.
All right, we are quickly out of time. But before we go, let me take you through the social media package where the Nigerian police are practicing, or rather learning how to sing the old reverse national anthem. Let's quickly look at that.
Standardized anthem. Standard 1. Nigeria, we hate thee. Our own democracy flag. Those five anthems they differ. In brotherhood we stand. Nigeria, our sorry motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign in peace.
welcome back. Like you can see, our Nigerian police force are learning the old reverse national anthem. And at this point, this is where we draw the curtain for today's episode on the press. And I hope you do have a swell time. And until I come your way again, and but before I go, let me use this opportunity to say Barka de Salah to all our Muslim viewers, brothers and sisters in Nigeria. Until I come your way next time, I remain Messi Emelite. Keep watching KAFTAN television. Do have a great day.